All right, cool. So let's get it started. Welcome to Weekly Market Outlook. This is a call we do every single Sunday to kind of look ahead in the week and kind of see what played out last week, see what we could possibly look forward to this week. And today's call is going to be pretty dope, pretty special. I don't think I've ever ran it like this. So as you guys know, every single Sunday, and this has been consistent for at least the last 12 months. I haven't missed, I believe, one, right? So what I do every single Sunday, and this is for myself primarily, right? But if I'm already doing the work, then I like to share it and like for others to be able to take advantage of the work, right? If one person is doing the work and the 300 people can take advantage of it, right? I don't know how you guys think, but for myself, it just makes total sense, right? So every single Sunday, I do my markups. Make sure you guys are independently, right? Obviously, you have the system and you have a community where you're able to be successful just by plugging in. But the goal, right, this process is to help you become an independent trader. So don't rely on me for my markups. Don't rely on Will for him to get you paid. Don't rely on Go Live. Obviously, use that in a way where you're able to take advantage while you become that person yourself, right? So make sure you guys are every single Sunday, looking at the markets, taking whatever you learned, throughout that last week or throughout your trading career in general, and really apply those concepts, right? And kind of see what plays out. So shout out to Neri. She runs the back testing call every single Saturday. What this is, right? A back testing is kind of like looking back, seeing what happened, seeing what played out, what she was able to take advantage of, maybe what opportunities she missed, what mistakes you might have made. So back testing is very important, right? This call is basically a forward testing call. So what happens here is we mark up some areas, we set up some alerts, and we're looking to kind of see how that plays out in the future, right? So it's not let's go back and see what happened, is like, let me put this out there and then see what happens based off of this. So that's kind of, they go hand in hand, and one of them is not more important than the other, right? You should be doing both. And this call today, fam, is a little bit different than what usually goes down in the way that today I didn't send, I mean, I'm sure you guys noticed, but I didn't send my markups ahead of time. What we're going to do today is basically you guys are going to be on here with me, and I'm going to basically take a look at the markets for the very first time this weekend. And not going to do a lot of back testing because I really, did do a lot of that like late Friday. But what I'm going to do is kind of what I naturally do every single Sunday, which is look forward and see what could possibly play out for the first time actually live with you guys. And we're gonna mark these charts up together, right? So if you have enough brain capacity, if you have enough monitors, whatever it might be, you can have me on one screen, and then you can mark up your charts with me together on another screen. Or if you feel like you want to kind of just intake everything the best way possible, then just listen, right? And then as we go along, I'm going to mark up and take my pictures, and I'll be sending out those markups right after the call, right? So you can always go back and kind of do the work yourself after, whatever you think is more beneficial to you, right? But this is definitely a first. So let me get some ones in the chat if you guys are cool with that, if you guys are excited for this call, if you guys are ready for this trading week, and we'll get it started. Bet I see y'all. Cool. All right, so let's pull up TradingView. And before we do that, the most important thing for myself to do here on a Sunday, and you only have to do this 1 week or 1 day a week, right? So this is like the easy part, but probably one of the most important is basically going here to the economic calendar and seeing what high impact news events are going to play out this week, right? So very important. As we know, the news is the excuse, and they use these type of events to be able to manipulate the market, right? In one direction or the other. So these are all the high impact news for the pairs that I personally trade. And here you get to see my list of pairs here. Let me pull up the news events here for you guys. So based off of these pairs inside my trading list, these are kind of what I'm kind of looking to see when that high impact news event or when you can expect it, right? So for this week, I'm going to actually narrow this down to just the dollar. Okay. So whatever pair you're trading, if you're trading currencies, you want to be aware of whatever it is you are trading. But, just to kind of make it easier for you guys and give you a clean example here, let's look at just what's going on with the dollar this week, right? So pretty slow Monday and Tuesday. And it looks like Wednesday is going to be probably the biggest day of the week for sure, right? So we have federal funds rate and we have the FOMC press conference. This is very interesting, right? So in my experience, let me kind of tell you guys how you're able to play this, right? So the federal funds rate at 11 a.m. Let me make sure I am on the right. Is it 7-Eleven? Yeah. Okay, cool. So at exactly 11 a.m., and this is Pacific Standard Time. So if you are inside of the MST, or what is it, central time zone, then you're adding 2 hours, right? So this is 1 p.m. for you. And then if you're Eastern, this is +3. So this is 2 p.m. for you. So I'm just gonna, kind of stick to Pacific time for this, but at exactly 11 a.m., the federal funds rate is gonna come out, right? So you can see over here what the previous number was, and then what the forecast is for this upcoming week. So they're basically expecting no change, okay? You can then go in here and kind of look at the details as far as how that news event actually impacts the dollar itself, the trading pairs and that kind of thing. And I did a call on this specifically just a little bit ago. But one thing you can do, guys, is, for example, if you click here, right? And this is telling me, okay, interest rate at which the depository institutions lend balances held at the Federal Reserve to other depository institutions overnight. What's the effect, right? So an actual or greater than is good for the currency, right? Which means that we're not expecting really any sort of change for this funds rate coming up, which means that if this comes out anything higher than 5.5, then that's going to be quote unquote good for the currency, right? And the opposite. If, let's just say, the funds rate comes out at 5.25, then the opposite would happen, right? Now, I know, I just know that even this explanation here is not giving you like the average trader, or somebody who's been inside of this journey for anything less than a year. And even myself, that I have 3 years of experience, sometimes these fundamental news events, I'm not going to lie, they don't really make complete a lot of sense to the point where you're able to really take advantage of the actual fundamentals, right? So this is one thing I did a call on just recently, guys. But if there's anything that's confusing you and you don't know the answer to, right, this is one of the main tools that me and you have here sitting in 2023 with the luxury of the internet, right? With the emergence of AI technology. Something you could do with ChatGPT is literally say, how does the funds rate affect the US dollar, right? And this tool, guys, is something you guys should be using literally day in, day out for your business, for your trading, for your personal lives. And it's going to give you a little bit more of a detailed answer. And what you can do next is say, okay, cool, like I get that, but explain that to me in a simple way. Like literally, you can type in, explain this in a way a fifth grader would understand. Or you can say, you can literally ask the actual question of, if funds rate comes out higher, what happens to the DXY? Does it go up or does it go down? Literally, it's going to give you something like, well, it's going to give you the disclaimer, right? It's going to say, well, this doesn't always happen. There's other factors, but it's going to end up giving you the answer you're looking for, right? So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let you guys go out and find that answer if you really care enough to know. All you have to do is press a button and ask a question, right? So make sure you guys are using your tools, right? And that's just a quick introduction to the economic events themselves and that kind of thing, when to really expect the highest volatility. But what we like to do on this call is definitely focus more on the technical side, right? We like to focus on actual price action, and based off of those things, start to see what we can expect, right? So let's get into it. We're going to start with the US dollar, which is what we usually do. So I'm on a daily time frame here, right? Even if I go weekly, the US dollar is in a very bullish market here ever since mid 2021, right? At the end of last year, we started to see that first actual retracement, back inside of this very bullish range. And we've been kind of playing inside this zone right here literally all year, right? We've been following this market literally 52 weeks, out of the year, every single week, right? We don't miss one. If for whatever reason, I wasn't able to make that call, then, shout out to Neri, shout out to Vinny. There's people stepping in and making sure that every single week you guys have something to look forward to, right? So we've been kind of studying this market, moving inside of this range for literally the whole year, right? So where is January of 23 is literally here, right? So this whole year we've been kind of studying this. We've been catching moves literally up and down, right? You guys know that you can make money both ways inside the market. It doesn't matter. You're not really investing into the dollar in a sense. Hopefully you're investing against the dollar, but that's another story. What we've been looking at here is, and just to keep it very basic here on this weekly time frame, is a market that pushed down, gave a little bit of retracement, swept that low, right? So it is, even when these bodies close below these bodies, that's a new market structure point, right? So this is another lower low, higher, lower high, and then another lower low, right? So the current range that we're inside of this expansion here, right? We're inside of this expansion that started on, late July or middle to late July, and we're looking at the weekly time frame here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Coming up on 10 here, weekly candles, and we have yet to see a actual valid retracement, right? You guys don't see one bearish candle for the dollar this whole last almost 2 months, right? So needless to say, this market is very, very bullish right now, right? So we're not going to try to fight this, right? We're not going to try and try to catch the reversal. We're not going to try and catch any sort of sells here. At least like on a bigger time frame, right? There's going to be opportunities, and we'll get into them. But this is a bullish market, fam. Like, I don't know, if I've ever seen a more bullish market than 10 straight weekly candles. So the place where we're at right now, right? We just took out this previous lower high. Okay. We're still holding this lower high, right? So all this was an internal liquidity point. Okay. So this point inside the market right here, this lower high, was used as an internal liquidity of the overall range, which is this high right here, right? So we're currently working with the range of this high down to this low, right? We were definitely, a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, paying attention at this area here just to see if we can get some sort of reaction off of this point. And we did, right? You guys can see, I mean, on this weekly, it doesn't look like much, but, a weekly wick that's this big is a pretty nice move. So we did see definitely some sort of reaction around that area, but we kept in mind the fact that this is our true range up here, right? So this was just an internal liquidity. So where we're at right now is we're coming up here closer to the top of this range. What I do expect to happen is that high to get taken out, right? So I don't know. I'm not saying like this is going to continue bullish, right? Or I'm not saying that it's going to hit that high and then immediately reverse. But as a target, like without really trying to form any sort of perspective as far as like how we can take advantage, as far as the target goes, like where I think the dollar is going to go is at least here, right? And I don't know if that's going to happen this week, but that would be my target for this week, right? As we start to narrow down to a daily, we start to see some actual market structure inside of this range, right? We're starting to see a little bit more detail as far as these impulses, pullbacks, impulse, pullback, equal lows right here. If you know, impulse, pullback, that kind of thing. So we're actually able to see a little bit more detail on this daily, and just to kind of show you guys where we're at right now, right? So even if we do get some sort of pullback, even if it's a deep pullback, let's just say this is the first pullback on the weekly time frame inside of this whole range, right? So let's just say this week we do end up coming lower, right? I'm still expecting that high to be taken out in a future event, right? So that's kind of the basic way to break it down. We can get a little bit more detailed as far as like the 4 hour, looking at the valid ranges and that kind of stuff. But I feel like, if you've been hopping onto the call, then you've been getting a lot of work in when it comes to that, right? Last week, our target was this right here. It was this daily body gap. And you can see that we did trade into that point and offered the best retracement of that whole week, right? So even if I go down to the 4 hour, right, we're paying attention to that blue area. That was our target last week. So where is Sunday, right? Let's find Sunday. Last Sunday, we were somewhere inside of this area, right? So we were somewhere here, and we were hopefully expecting, a retracement down to this area to then target, our actual target for the week. We didn't get it. We continued to run up to that point, right? So even though this would have been our ideal scenario, would have been to kind of pull back, and this here is where we would start to look for buys up into this range. We didn't get that, right? So we continue to just move up. And once we reached that zone, right, that's when we offered some nice reaction. So if you were paying attention to that zone, if you set your alerts with me last week, then you were able to catch the best move of the week as far as like an actual retracement or a reversal, right? Because if you've been smacking dollar buys, I mean, you've been doing fairly well for this last couple months, right? But as far as any sort of counter trending setups, any sort of like reaction moves that you were looking for, this was the best place, right? So even on the 1 hour, it's just like super clean, right? We see how this structure, give me 1 second. We see how this structure, basically formed very cleanly to take us up into that zone. And then as soon as we got here, we started to create that counter trend, right? Here's that first change of character, right? There's that first change of character, which it was a pretty shallow retracement. I'm gonna be real, right? From this low to this high, I don't even think that was a 50% retracement, right? So what that tells us is that the dollar is still very bullish, right? We didn't manage to get, anywhere below this 50. And ideally, we would have liked to see would have been this area down here. So we didn't get that. That was telling us, that we're still bullish, right? So this being my weekly target up here, right? I'm not trying to catch any sort of sells right now. I'll just say that, right? I'm just looking for places where we're going to be able to play these buys, right? So let's get into some currency pairs. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to kind of mark up along the way here with you guys and send out these markups, right? So let's do for everybody that's on here, then you're not just getting the market, but you're getting the perspective too, right? So that's the weekly high. That's our target, right? So what I'm gonna do is just copy link, and I have a, let's see if I can move this over here. Yeah, so I have a sticky note going over here where I drop my markups, right? So this is a DXY daily. You guys have the perspective, but you're gonna get the markup here as soon as we get off this call. Let's go into some trading pairs. Let's go USD CAD. So same thing with USD CAD. I mean, it looks almost the same, right? This is the dollar. That blue area was our target, and this was USD CAD, and that blue area was our target. So look at what happened with USD CAD, right? We almost got there. I mean, we literally, when you think about a tap, that's a tap right there. I'll go into a smaller time frame right now. But based off of that bias, guys, that I gave you guys last week, expecting, DXY to trade up into that zone and offer a nice reaction, which we got right here. USD CAD gave us, and I mean, if you're still in this, right, you took about a 200 pip move. Right now, I know I got my indice traders on here. You guys, have 200 pips for breakfast, but 200 pips on USD CAD is more than enough to pay the bills, right? So that was a beautiful reaction. I didn't really catch that. It didn't really give me a lot of opportunity to do that because I was expecting maybe a little bit of a deeper move into there. But then, we start to get down to the 1 hour. We start to see when that change of character happened. For myself, it would have been here, right? So as soon as we got a body close beneath here, this was most likely a news candle. What time was this? 5 a.m. Yeah, this was definitely a news candle, right? That's why we started this call with looking at high volatility scenarios or events. So this is why, right? This is probably the biggest candle we saw all week, right? So as soon as we got that change of character because of news, then we started to play the downside. Now, even up here, right? I mean, we can narrow it down and really see what the top of that range really looked like. If you were on a 15-minute, um, if you're on a 15-minute, then you know the structure looks a little bit like this, right? Here, let me redo that real quick. So, right, you see an uptrending market here on the 15, right? We see a lot of consolidation. So this distribution pattern right here should be telling you that the market is losing steam to the upside, and now we're just accumulating orders, right? Look at the difference between these impulses and retracements, and look how we just continue to just move sideways here for a good amount of time before this wick right here. I mean, I don't have time to really break down every single market, guys, from the higher time frames down to like the 5 minute, to really show you guys like the fractalness of what's going on here, right? It's the same thing as the higher time frames, but we see that sweep of buy side liquidity, and then in immediate, right? As soon as this candle closed below these candles here, that's a 15-minute change of character already, right? So there was an imbalance here. I was waiting for this move to maybe give me that imbalance entry. Bro, that would have been the play right there, right? I didn't get it. There's that next leg of structure. I was expecting this market to maybe come a little bit higher into this zone. Didn't get it, right? It continued to melt. So me personally, based off of my confirmations, didn't really get a lot of opportunities to enter those sells on USD CAD, but they were definitely there, right? I hope you guys can kind of see how, you know, I started to kind of break that down. This is something I took late Friday, and like I was just kind of studying with the squad on a Zoom call, and I was like, yo, wait, what's going on right here, right? So we saw to me, this was very obvious, right? A sweep of liquidity, right? Taking out these lows, and then that immediate market structure shift to the upside, which is what took us up there, right? So none of this stuff is a coincidence. Everything is very, very intentional. Every single move inside the market is planned out, right? And it's an algorithm. It's not people saying, "Oh, let's buy right here," and then as soon as this happens, let's go. It's an algorithm. It's doing all this on its own, fam. So these concepts are really showing you how this algorithm works, right? And you want to kind of become an algorithm yourself and kind of trade on the same side of the market movers, right? So when this down push happened and then that immediate explosion, I started to kind of study that area and use this as a possible entry zone. I was down here, you know, with the squad live looking at 15-minute, 5-minute schematics down here where we're seeing a very bearish market come into a higher time frame point of interest and start to move sideways, right? If you studied Wyckoff, then you know exactly what to look for here. We're seeing the market really, you know, come from a very strong down push, kind of giving us that roundness at the bottom that we like to see. And based off of where is it? This candle specifically right here, right? This last down candle is where I was able to find my entry on Friday, and I'm still in this. Still expecting higher movement on this, because what did we say on the dollar, right? We said that we're still expecting a bullish market. So USD CAD actually gave us a very nice higher time frame retracement. As you can very well see on the dollar, we didn't get that, right? So from this low to this high, we didn't get even a 50% retracement. But you guys got to remember that you're trading two currencies, right? So this currency pair gave us a retracement, right? From this low to that high, we got all the way down to like the best possible place you could be entering. So from here, right, my target is continued buys. So we were able to narrow down a 5-minute, I mean, we'll just say 15-minute entry here based off of that candle, right? So if you just go based off of that candle, I mean, good place to enter is right around the middle of that candle. Let's just say we do our stop loss below that wick. And I mean, y'all saw where, you know, the target is at. So you're able to catch a 5-minute stop loss and a daily, weekly type entry. So I know this looks ridiculous, right? This is a 30-to-1 opportunity here. And that's something that, you know, doesn't come too often. I'm not saying this is going to happen like that, but, you know, I'm positioned, right? I already took some profit. I'm already break even, and I'm playing that side of the market, right? So as you guys know, and yo, just so you guys, I see the chat, bro. None of this is an exact signal, I would say. This is not really like, yo, get into this market and just swing this shit right now. Definitely go down to your lower time frames, definitely follow your trading plans. But I mean, this is not a signals call, right? So I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm just kind of showing you guys my perspective and kind of just thinking out loud here today with you guys. But that's what I could be expecting, right? Personally. Um, Not going to send this out as a trade idea because number one, it pretty much already happened. For you guys that are on here, right? If you want to, break this zone down and start to play this, what I would look at just real quick, the next candle to enter at would have been this one that we're currently playing off of, right? So if you guys want to participate there, that's up to you guys. But I like to wait for at least like Monday or Tuesday, especially on a week where we don't have any news on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesdays is like the big day. I'm not really like rushing to participate inside the market on a Sunday, but that's just me, right? Um, that's USD CAD, USD CHF. I'm also in right now off of these positions here. And fam, like I'm literally, I know you guys like people don't like to study the dollar because you can't make money off of the DXY. Like people have this misconception that because you can't directly profit from the DXY, meaning, oh, I can't trade this, so why would I even look at it, right? But look at this play, right, that I just went over with you guys, and then look at this other two positions that I'm in right now. Just mainly, I mean, obviously other things are going along with this, but both of these entries, one of them already cashed out. The second one, which was the lower entry, I'm still in. So I'm break even on the second entry. And it was literally just based off of the dollar's bullish. This market structure on this currency pair is bullish. And if you know what candle to look for, then you've done most of the job, right? So this candle right here, this one candle right here was what I was waiting for when I got this entry. And I mean, you guys can see what's going on, right? If you guys know market structure and you know which institutional candle to play based off that market structure, then it's just trade management from there. To be honest, like I know there's a bunch of smart money concepts. You can literally pick like one or two of them to go along with the main thing, which is market structure, and you're gonna be good. Even if you trade levels, right? Vinny, what's the first thing to know before you even, look at where to, look for a shoulder or look for, a starting point? I'm pretty sure you want to have a good idea of what kind of market structure you're in, right? So this goes before any sort of strategy, right? Make sure you guys are doing that. Shout out to the Academy right now that we actually have access to not only the FRX pack, but also the TBX educators with the same trading package. What's been helping me the most, the main thing to do is obviously watch the boot camp and watch it a couple times, right? You're going to watch it. It's going to teach you a lot about all the concepts, how they all work together. And then you're going to watch V's boot camp. It's literally 10 videos long, and you're going to get an actual strategy. I'm talking about everything from mindset to market structure, institutional candles, liquidity, Fibonacci within 10 videos. And that's not something that, I'm trading completely his style, but it's adding on to, things I've learned from Mike Nav, Jordan Morgan, Zach, even the people inside of Powerhouse themselves. And it's just a very, very key puzzle piece. I'll say that if you guys, care enough to go in there and study that. But same thing here. My target is a higher time frame, actually a daily area, right? So I got into those buys on a 5 minute with my target being all the way up here, right? So this is an actual trade idea. Let me remove some of this stuff here just so I won't confuse people. I actually can't remove some of this stuff or I'd be playing myself. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and, if it's that important, I should be able to see it again, right? I recommend you guys work with a clean chart as much as possible. I'll just say that. But the trade idea I'm looking at here, I mean, if you can call it a trade idea, is some sort of push that's going to take us above these highs right here, and it's going to play off of this candle, right? So here we're looking at, number one, a bearish structure, right? We can all agree that this is a bearish structure on the daily. And when I narrow down to that area, right, this is the candle that I'm going to play. So just like I said earlier, you don't even have to know about Fibonacci. You don't even have to know about what's going on right here as far as liquidity. You don't even have to go in there and look for an imbalance. Just based off the market structure and knowing what candle to play is enough for me to really consider this area, right? I'm not saying I'm going to trade it. You're going to want to see some sort of confirmation up in this area, right? Maybe the same thing as far as, liquidity, a sweep, a change of character, and then you get that pullback that you're really gonna, start to play. So I mean, I don't know if you guys want to consider a trade idea or whatever you guys want to call this, but just based off of this zone right here, if I was you, right, if you're kind of looking at your chart right now, or as soon as we get off this call, what I would do is go to USDCHF, go to a daily time frame, and find this specific candle, right? I'm going to send the markup so you guys have something to kind of look at, but this is what I'm looking at with CHF, right? I'm looking at some sort of lower time frame confirmation that tells me, okay, we've built enough liquidity, we've manipulated, we've shifted structure enough for us to kind of change direction and start taking these sells. But I'm just gonna send out the area. You guys do that with that, what you want to do with it. But I'll definitely send some sort of updates if it comes into this area. After you find this candle, put a box around to do whatever. But the main thing being is set an alert, right? What I'm gonna do is mark it up one time, set my alert, and then I'm completely unattached from this. Even though I'm in a trade idea, right? That like imagine these kind of risk to rewards, fam. Like imagine like this stop loss and then where I'm looking to write it, right? So like let's just say even to the start of that zone, that's already a 12-1, right? So I'm just saying, it's all fractal, it all works together. But that's my thing on USDCHF. Let me go back to the daily one time just so I can send out that markup. And I'm trying to provide as much value as possible, fam, here with the amount of time I have. I told you guys that today was going to be more of just like a thinking out loud session, right? I'm just kind of like looking at these markets, doing a little bit of teaching as I go along. But this is literally what I do every single Sunday. Copy link. This is USDCHF on the daily. So everybody good? Can I get some ones in the chat if you guys are learning something? If you guys are with me, let me know if I'm going too quick. Let me know if you have any questions. Daily. Cool. I appreciate you guys letting me know. All right, so, not DXY. There's DCHF on the daily. Cool. All right, bet. All right, let's keep going. So those are the pairs that I trade on the same side of the dollar, right? So if dollar's going bullish, I mean, if I'm expecting it to go bullish, then I'm expecting these guys to go bullish, right? Which is why I'm currently holding position still, because bro, like, wouldn't you guys want a seat inside of this ride right here, right? Like, no weekly bearish candles. Like, would you guys like a seat on that ride? You know what I mean? So, knowing that, right, whenever I catch these plays that are going in that same direction on like USD CAD or USD CHF, I'm definitely paying myself, but I'm not just like losing every single perspective. Like some of the times, I can tell you guys, this is definitely one of my issues that I had when I barely started to kind of trade this way. Is I would have these beautiful markups, based on the concepts. I studied all my, institutionals, liquidities. I was finding these, badass markups, but my trading account wasn't like reflecting that, right? It wasn't showing the fact that my markups were very good. Like trade management is a whole different skill, right? So I was marking up like these, 5-1 swing plays, and they're looking beautiful, and they were actually a lot of the time playing out. But whenever, I got inside the market and that number on the screen started to show a certain amount based off of my personal relationship with money, then, you either get greedy or you get fearful, and you have these, amazing home run plays, but you're only actually able to take off the table some crumbs, right? So you guys got to be very aware of, the higher time frames. That way, oh, I'm trading in a bullish market. So yeah, I'm going to pay myself, but I want a seat in the ride. Like I want to be inside of this bullish dollar 2023 hashtag. Like I want to be in there, you know what I mean? So definitely pay yourselves. Like I'm not saying just hold and and set and forget type shit, but I'm saying leave something in there, bro. Even it's a zero point 0.01. I know you guys have seen, Will's MetaTrader screens, and is just true, bro. Like when you're in confluence with the higher time frames, those sniper entries are like your stop loss is small enough to where you're able to pay yourself and still leave something in there. Like don't be greedy, bro. Like don't think that, taking a 0.9 off the table based off the full, 0.1 that you dropped is going to make a lot of difference. Like I'll promise you, you'll be a lot happier if you leave something on the table. But anyway, right, those are my two pairs that I'm holding along with these dollar buys. Now let's look at the opposite side of the market here, starting with GBP. I'm going to go a little bit quicker through these last few pairs here, but based off the higher time frame on GBP, this is what I'm aware of, right? This daily, we can all agree that this is the structure here, right? There's an impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement, impulse, right? At least on the daily. And I've back tested and I've validated this market structure, but that's what it looks like, right? This right here was just an internal liquidity point based off of the actual daily range, right? So what I mean by that is my actual range was from this low to this high, right? This was a valid 4 hour, actually, I think it was even a daily pullback. Yeah, it's a valid daily structure point right here. But all it was internal liquidity of this entire range from this low to this high, right? So based off that range, I already know that I'm in a 786, 886 area here, where based off these higher time frames, I could start to expect a little bit of a reversal here, right? So I'm a little bit more careful with these sells. I am definitely rather would rather catch buys. Give me 1 second, fam. All right, fam. Sorry. Um, so I am definitely favoring some buys, right? I want to see some sort of accumulation here for me to play that higher time frame bias. But on the 1 hour, this is what the structure is telling me, right? This structure is showing a very bearish market, right? So that's my market structure here on this 1 hour. So my valid structure points are going to be number one here, and then number two here. I haven't validated which actual time frame these are on. I will do that. We'll do my homework after this call, but I know that they're already valid. I just have to see whether they're 4 hour, 1 hour. And if you guys want to know how to validate, again, watch Valentino's bootcamp. But scenario number one, we get a retracement into this zone and short from there. Or what's most likely is that this is just an internal liquidity point of this entire range, right? So the actual range is going to be from this high down to this low right here, right? So even though this is, and even if I go to the 15, you're going to see that this looks good, right? This meets all sort of confirmations, but this is why market structure is so important, because I know that my true range is from this high to this low. So even if I go 15-minute here and I'm seeing, what I need to see, right? I'm seeing a sweep of liquidity. I'm seeing my imbalance literally right there. It's inside of, my Fibonacci range. Everything is looking beautiful. But because and this is what changed the game for me, right? Because of the fact that I know that my true range is this high to this low, then, I will play this if like let's just say if this is a 1 hour structure, I'm looking for a 5 or a 15-minute confirmation somewhere in here. That's going to be a change of character, right? So if I'm able to get that and it looks good and I get that pullback, then I could possibly play that sell. But I'm already aware that the ideal entry, would be up here. So if I do get stopped out right there, I'm not sad, right? I'm already knowing where I'm actually going to be looking to play. So this is my zone that I'm going to share with you guys for GBP USD sells. Y'all like how it looks on the 15-minute? Let's see a little bit more detail. or y'all like this 1 hour? What you guys want? I personally, let's go 15. Let's just see a little bit more detail here, right? But just based off of those two gray zones, fam, when you guys see my gray zones, it doesn't mean execute. It means this is where I'm looking for my lower time frame confirmations, right? So you guys know that, right? All right, cool. Okay, so this is people that don't hop on these calls are gonna be hella confused. Like they're gonna be like, yo, what is he trying to say right now? But shout out to you guys, right? You guys are on here with me. GBP USD. That was a 15-minute. Cool. Got a couple more setups for you guys. Let's go Euro. Let's go Euro daily so we can check something out real quick. So the thing here, right? GBP USD, Euro USD, not only are they on the same side of the market, but they're correlating pairs, right? They're both European London pairs. Can you guys see the difference between these two structures right here? I'll give you just a second because I don't have enough time. But this GBP is still within this range from this low to this high. We're still sitting inside that range. So where here, as you guys can see, we have already traded through this range, right? Not only did we get a body close below these bodies, which already, as soon as that happens, it's already a confirmation, but this wick also got traded maybe through, maybe equal low, but based off the bodies, this is already a new range for me. We're already created a new bearish range from this high to this. Look at that entry up there, bro. I'm not even gonna go in there and really study that for the sake of time. But because this market does look a little bit more bearish than this, then I do feel like it's a little bit safer to take sells on Euro, right? You guys can all agree with me. If the market's more bearish, you know, we could be looking a little bit better as far as these sells. So here, these are going to be my two areas. With GBP, I was basically looking at this structure point right here, right? As far as like possibly an area to play. I mean, I guess, you know, you can make a trade idea out of anything, but let's go down here. Right, based off of this candle and based off of all that imbalance, you know, you guys can choose to play that area. Me personally, I'm aware that all this is liquidity, right? And I'm aware that market structure wise, this is all sitting inside of 4-hour ranges, right? So my main areas that I'm going to be looking to play are going to be these top areas here. Hopefully we get up there this week. I don't know if we will, but you know, either sells here or sells here. And this is what I'm sending out right now. I know it started with a lot of detail and kind of like fading away the detail as I go here, just because, you know, we're trying to beat the clock here, but make sure you guys don't rush this process, right? Make sure you guys are going in there and doing the work. I'm kind of just giving you an outline of where to really look, but it's up to you guys to go in there and find what I'm talking about, right? 4-hour. And I think the last thing I'll go over is going to be gold. 750 right now. Yes, sir. I got a leadership call right now at 8 p.m. If not, I'd stay on here all night, which you guys have promised. Junior, shout out to you, bro, for hopping on. I'll see you in a little bit. Fam, if he's on here learning, you know what I mean? I think it's a good idea for you guys to hop on these calls. AUD USD, same kind of thing, right? We're inside of the higher time frame bullish range from this low to this high, right? We're already inside that area. Look at how beautiful this is. 786, 886, the institutional candle we like to look for. You know, there was a little bit of imbalance there. And look how we're already kind of showing reaction off of that zone. But again, I mean, if the dollar is going to continue bullish, then these markets are going to continue bearish. It's just that simple. Like, just because this is there right now, right? Obviously, we're careful, right? Anything on a daily range, anything below the 618, those sells become a little bit less higher probability, right? You want to catch sells in a premium, right? We're catching sells here, 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 here. Once we start to get, you know, pretty discounted, then you're not really like, it's not the best idea. That I just want to say that. But if you already took that low and the dollar's looking very bearish, right? Just because that low is there doesn't mean that's how it's going to be, for the rest of time. Like we can definitely find a way to get down there. I did send this out last week inside the FRX channel, but I'll send it out one more time for the sake of this call. And I'm going to send it out just on a 2 hour, just because it's going to allow me to kind of fit a little bit more of this data in there. But I actually have and before I say this, hold on, let me get this right. Before I say this next sentence, this is not a trade idea, but I have a sell limit sitting right here. I'm playing that something like this here, right? Based off of this stop loss, but it's a 30-point stop loss. So that's a little bit much for me on a currency pair. Can definitely, get a 3-to-1 off of that, but I am a little bit under leveraged, not too much. You want to keep your risk pretty much the same, but I'm just aware of the fact that look at all this liquidity, right? Equal highs. All this right here is equal highs. I have an imbalance. I have my institutional candle. So if, the dollar is going to be very bullish to start the week, then this will play off. And again, I do have my sell limit right there, but then again, I have an area up here to play, right? So if you guys see blue zones on my chart, I'm not going to say it, but you guys should know. What is this? 2 hour. And I'm also recording this and putting this on YouTube, fam. So if you guys feel like I'm going a little bit too quick and want to hop on to kind of just review any part of this call, it will be on YouTube within the next hour or two, just because it takes a little bit of time to upload it, but I'll do that as soon as we get off of here. NZD, this is the area that I'm looking for sells. I did send this out last week again, but I'll send it out one more time just for you guys. Let's go. After this, I have gold, and that's going to be it. I mean, I usually do mark up my indices on Sunday, but for the sake of time, I'll let you guys do that either by yourself tonight or with Mike Nav in the morning. So NZD, I mean, not much to say. It's the same kind of thing as AUD, right? Wait, what time from now? Same kind of bias. But whenever you have two markets that are very similar, then it's a luxury, right? You get to kind of pick and choose which one you actually want to participate with. It doesn't mean trade both. It means trade the one that looks better, right? So either NZD or AUD, whatever's meeting your confirmations. Finishing up with gold here. Oh, let me find out. Damn. Okay, cool. All right, gold. Sounds good. This is something I was studying last week. Let me just see if these lows got taken. Yeah. So whenever you see me, mark up like this is because I mark up what I call case studies, right? Not only for me, but for the team. And this was an area off of this candle that I was looking at for buys. And as you can see, it did trade through it, but on the lower time frames, after it did trade through, then we did see some sort of opportunity to enter. It looks like as of now, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys were on Valentino on Friday, but I sent out this sell idea. I sent this out on Friday for you guys, and it was from Valentino's Pip Talk. So we were all, being very aware of the fact that bro, what's wrong with these lines right now? We were all aware of the fact that there is a lot of liquidity to the upside here that's sitting inside of, like, the true range is this high down to this low, right? So again, this is something just like we talked about on GBP, on Euro. These are all points inside the market where you can play, but you have to be aware of the true range. And that's what's going to help you guys out a lot when you get in there and really understand market structure, because I know you guys know order blocks and imbalances and Fibonacci's, because that's what makes you money. But when you understand confluence with the dollar, confluence with market structure, then you're already aware that, okay, this could play out. I'm actually in this right now. But if I get stopped out, then I already know my next area to play, which is up here, right? So for the sake of this, I'm gonna erase that, and this, and this as well. 1925. All right, cool. So if you look at just this range here from that high all the way down to that low, this is my 4-hour candle. So if you guys want to go in there and find this 4-hour candle inside your chart, right? That's basically my order block that I'm playing. As you can see, 4-hour imbalance. I'm going to send this out on the 1 hour just to kind of give you guys a little bit more detail. But I'm looking to play that zone for sells anywhere from 1940 to 1945 and stop loss above 1952. So that's a lot of pips. That's not a trade. Again, bro, I hate, like, I hope you guys don't, take everything I'm saying right now as like an action plan. Like, I'm just kind of sharing perspective, but anything inside this zone for sales with invalidation above this wick. Even if we're able to get back to 1950 one more time, then that's going to be about a 30 pip stop loss from 1950 to 1953. 1950 would also be a good sell. But anyway, let's go like this. I know someone on this call is like, yo, as soon as that shit hits 1942.5, that shit's tanking, bro. Copy link. What was that? 1 hour? 1 hour on gold. Shout out to you guys. I know you guys want to make money, and that's what we're here for, but make sure you do your homework. 1 hour. And there it is. All right, fam. So with that being said, it is 7:59 with 22 seconds on the Pacific side of things, and I have to hop onto a leadership call. Apparently, that's funny. I gotta hop onto leadership call, fam. I know you guys got your things you need to do. So with that being said, thank you guys for hopping on. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys thank you for just sitting here and listening to me talk. Like, that was literally all this was. I didn't ask if anybody had any questions or nothing. I was just like, here y'all go. But it's going up on YouTube here in the next few minutes. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find me. And let's get it. Let's have a profitable week.